Hi guys to everyone, it's Ada from Posendrop. Today we have with us Juho from Haunted Plasma. As the most difficult question of all, how are you, Juho?
I'm good. It's a surprisingly hot start of the summer in Finland since like
Really?
28. Yeah, it's 28, so
I
it's not so typical here, maybe.
I mean, it's quite surprising too because you in Finland you had pretty like a snowy winter as far as I can hear throughout friends.
Yeah, it can be very cold, but sometimes it's the summers sometimes are hot, not always, sometimes.
So that's even warmer weather than here in Sicily. That's weird.
Okay, that's weird. That's weird.
Okay, the world is changing. Okay, but
Yeah.
starting just from the beginning, you hope before we start to speak about Haunted Plasma and this debut record, I want to ask you about your own musical background. So, like, how you started, are you getting closer with music, and when it comes to the day that you say, like, okay, now I want to be serious in music.
Mm. Well, yeah, I started playing guitar when I was 10, and it was kind of immediately for me about like creating music. I mean, I played a guitar for a long time, but I still don't consider myself as a guitarist. Like, I suppose I am, but I mean, for some people, guitar is like an extension of their arm or something like that.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's a tool for, you know, composing music. So that's kind of what I was interested in first place. And yeah, played through my teenage years and always with the band. Like I was always more interested in that side, like to creating music in a band. And yeah, then and like doing different kind of projects, mostly rock or prog or metal or somewhere along those lines, but not maybe so much metal really.
Yeah.
But then we made this band with good friends called Oranssi Patsutsu. That still goes, and
Yeah.
you know, we are releasing our sixth album next fall.
Okay.
So that one is very much ongoing still.
Okay.
And then this Haunted Plasma is a different kind of beast in a way that it's more electronic.
Okay.
I guess most electronic stuff that I've ever been playing with, and also the kind of how we created the album was a bit different. But for me, it's always been also about experimenting, doing like a experimental music in general, and trying new things and not stay put too long with anything. So yeah, this is how we got here.
So that applies, like you say, like experimenting in music, not only like in rock, but as well like in electro, like in all music itself, like the world of music. Because because of course going throughout you know, rock, whatever it is, throughout electronic is not such a big jump, but it's always, you know, like different genre. So from like you were mentioning your other project to Haunted Plasma, like what brought you to, what did it bring you like to say, okay, now I want to try to experiment like a little bit of electronic music, a little bit of I don't know, synth. There was something that you like, was it been an influence in your life before, like electronic music, or mainly like, you know, just let's see how it goes, how the vibe of life through?
Well, I think when I kind of got to my adulthood, like around 20 or something like that, I noticed that I'm kind of into a lot of different sorts of music. And I don't think, like you said, I don't think that there's very big jumps from any music to other, even if it's like contemporary classical or anything like that. Like it's all of that is sounds coming to your ear, and your brain interprets them to emotions and you know, all sorts of things. So it's kind of all quite abstract already. So the genres, I understand their meaning, why people like put different music to different genres, sure. Exactly. But I just think like for me it's always been like I'm interested in all stuff that gives me emotion. The stronger the emotion, the more I like the music. So I don't really distinguish stuff. And you know, of course, I understand that sometimes even for me, like when I was 16, I I listened to like proper like black metal for first time, like Emperor. It was for me like I can't understand, like it just sounds like noise to my ears. But then when I listened to it for a month or maybe a few weeks, I was like, yeah, now I can hear everything. So I understand that you have to get used to like new stuff.
Yeah.
But I think if there's something interesting about it for you, it's really good to try listening more of that, because usually things open up really easily. At least it's been like that for me my whole life.
So you got this chance like to experiment, let's say not the experiment, but to approach with a new, let's say, project. And of course, in Haunted Plasma, there are as well involved other musicians. So
yeah,
just let's introduce them, because of they are not here. So let's introduce who's in the band.
It's like part of that. I think like when you get interested about some sort of music, just listening to it, you kind of start thinking, how has this been done? And I think it's even more sometimes interesting that even if you don't exactly know how it's done, maybe someone else knows a bit better who's in the band. That's also a good thing playing in a band. You can rely on other people as well. Like sometimes it's really difficult if you do stuff at home. Like I said, I've been lucky always to have a band or other people to play. But the perspective gets quite hard if you do everything by yourself. You kind of get used to everything and how they sound, and maybe you can't be that critical anymore. It's easier to send stuff to your bandmates and is this shit? And ask.
To have as well like an external opinion, especially if you're playing the same band, you have the same, let's say, the same goal. You can have different point of view, and so they're saying the people, other musicians involved playing in Haunted Plasma are, so we can as well introduce them to the people.
Yeah, we have like Timo Kaukolampi, who is like doing a lot of the synth stuff. He's been playing in a band called KXP and still is playing, and a lot of solo stuff. He's the kind of really synth guru of our band, and he's been doing it for a long time. A lot of soundtracks, all sorts of stuff, and he has, I think, very unique way of approaching things compared to me, like very different kind of approach. And then Tomi has been playing with Tomi Leppänen has been playing with Timo for I think long time, and he's been playing in Circle, but also in KXP and band called Aavikko in Finland, and those guys knew each other for a long time. I got to know them during this project, like and kind of it was interesting for me to kind of join, because they had been doing that sort of approach with the electronic stuff for longer, and I was kind of going there with guitar and you know, testing out things, and we got to know each other while we jammed, and you know, musically and personally as well. So
of course,
I think all of that counts together when you're doing music, and actually it's pretty interesting because you can't get back to the first jams you have when you don't know each other, because after that you start talking and you know each other better musically and all that. Although I've been following those guys and their music careers for decades, so
you already knew
I knew the music
background, and as well, I guess the jamming went well as well, and the talking personally. So let's say that, and of course, so all this project Haunted Plasma, because it's like I was saying, it's the first. Let's say one. It's just the debut record, because it's with 5 tracks. So how do you decide just to release 5 tracks instead of, I don't know, making a full length, or I don't know, or one single and see how people just will react?
Well, it is a full length in terms of the length. It's 45 minutes or something like that.
It's a TV episode.
It's just that the songs are a bit longer. I just think like this is very natural for every one of us playing in the band. Is that like somehow for a longer song you can put more things that are kind of important for us. For example, to make the song grow naturally rather than have these like abrupt changes, different parts, so that it needs to take enough time for the parts to kind of start dissolving into each other.
Exactly.
And it's just very natural working for us, and also for the atmosphere to kind of develop. I think the atmosphere is really like important for us in those songs. And also like, because it's heavily influenced by krautrock, not to be too, again, hasty. You need the hypnotic aspects to kick in.
Yeah, sure.
And yeah, most of the songs are quite long.
Yeah.
By their nature and by our nature of doing
like a
music,
journey.
especially for this. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like each song is kind of a journey, because it kind of develops. Yeah. Because sometimes, you know, you're just playing and then you have, like you were saying, to carry the song, instead like you just like to make it like a crescendo, like a developing of the music of the song itself.
Yeah, exactly. So that it needs to be slow growing stuff. And also like I'm personally into post-rock stuff like Godspeed You Black Emperor as well. And to have those sorts of kind of dramatic things happening, building slowly. Yeah, it's kind of very natural. Natural for us.
Let's say kind of a movie. You start slowly, and then you had the bigger, you know, like the core, and then there is the fading as well.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
And all that one, it has like because of course before talking a little bit about the sound and how the songs change as well in sound, there is like a main topic behind it, because like you're saying, each song is kind of a journey itself. It's like pretty like let's say not long, but it's well placed amount of time song. It's each song is like a journey by itself, so kind of a topic, or all one is just a topical. For example, concept album is just, how is this journey in what?
I think it's kind of both. Like you said, every song, each song have their own kind of drama curve, as you can say. But also, it's not exactly a theme album, but it is a journey that is also going through the entire album. Like, because it starts with kind of more, maybe a bit gothier songs. Like a couple of the first tracks are a bit more goth, in a way that there's a Matt McNerney doing really cool vocals there, and there's a more kind of melodic aspects going on, and then it kind of starts shifting towards more of the krautrock and more kind of motoric beats and more kind of electronic stuff even going on, and more of the crowd stuff. And there is also kind of a loose concept on having a man or human being meeting machine and becoming one with the machine. And then kind of towards the end of the album, you kind of, a human is already one with the machine, but it's not as scary anymore, because maybe it's not scary because part of you has been already replaced, and you are kind of, either you can think that you are manipulated being really happy about that, or that you actually are happy about having your kind of personality changed and your brains changed, and you're one with the machine. And then the last song is kind of it's just one organism. So there is a kind of journey throughout the album as well, but in individual songs as well.
And because of course, like it's really always looked like, you know, like this futuristic aspect of that machine getting closer with a human being. We always saw, I think, growing up, you know, like, I don't know, the movies, it was just all a fantasy, like Blade Runner, I don't know. But nowadays it's becoming really more real, like a closer kind of that. And so it's a kind of futuristic, yes, but it's as well kind of real. So, and it's good that musicians try to talk about that more, because, you know, there is always something controversial. It is good, this is not. So we could say that one could maybe help the people to kind of think about that, if it is good or not, to add their own opinion. Like not like you're saying this is good or bad, but helping them, creating their own opinion about what is going on, what will happen in a future encounter with a machine, because might happen. We might never know.
Yeah, that's the thing, I guess, with the science fiction, that it has been pretty good at predicting a bit like what's going to happen in terms. But I also like think with thoughts about this concept and on this album, my kind of thought about like that it can be good or bad or both, is that things usually aren't that simple in life, and especially in things like this or predicting the future. Even I think like that we are not actually trying to predict future in any way. This is more of a kind of a 90s version of thinking about the future almost.
Okay, so
like it's a more bit simple. But then again, I think it's cool if it raises a bit of a questions about like how complex it actually can be, and where it's not. I guess I really like all these science fiction stuff that are really dark about, you know, Skynet destroying the whole world and you know, all the people in it. They're cool, but I just think that maybe it's going to be more even if machines will, you know, in 2000 years have journeyed to space. They're flying to space, and we don't know what the fuck they're doing. Like, we have no idea. They have kind of left us out because we can't keep up with the thoughts. So, and how things go to there, they may not see us as a hostile or threat or anything like that. No, so I think things could be things could be a bit more complex than what we kind of first think. So it's cool that it creates some ideas about that.
Yeah.
What kind of layers can we have like about that as well?
Because I mean, it might even happen in 1,000 years. It might happen tomorrow. We don't know. It might never even happen. So
that's also, we could destroy each other next week. So
yeah, exactly. But that's a good way as well, because of course, like this song being such a, because having an atmosphere and our kind of a journey itself, like I say, do you ever thought like to, or if it crossed the mind, your mind, the thought of maybe using the songs or the sound of Haunted Plasma for kind of for some soundtrack movies? Because it has the vibe of it.
I think the vibe is kind of, with most music I do, it's kind of already there. Not that I would think of a specific film in my head where the music is, but I think I'm interested in visual music, and I think all of us, in even no matter what band, visuality of the music. It's pretty cool if you listen to the music and you already can maybe visually see something happening, and you kind of at least have these abstract images, like if you close your eyes, about what this music kind of brings. So it's very naturally, I think, inside the music that it could fit some film.
Exactly. Because of course, as well, all music could fit any type of movies, but movies, life in general. But what actually can bring more visual aspect, or mainly the music, which is more connected with the visual aspect, especially as well in the live shows, is kind of electronic synth music. I saw with other bands that, you know, working a lot in visuals during the live show. So, Haunted Plasma as well, in a live shows, you're working with a visual effect, visual aspect of that, of your performance?
Well, we've done so far only 2 shows.
Okay.
Let's see if we're going to do more big because we have like a lot of other stuff going on as well. And it's a new band, so we kind of just see what comes. I'm sure we'll play live stuff. And we've had like some visual stuff going on and some stuff with the lights. So it's definitely important to kind of create that atmosphere for like we talked, like to have this visual at least setting would be right for that. So it would be kind of silly to do this kind of atmospheric music and just not, you know, have only normal lights on and nothing else. So yeah, for sure it's really important. But I guess the style of it is for us more of a minimalistic. So nothing like too fast or crazy, so that you also have a chance to start like visualizing things yourself in yourself and in your head, so that it's not too, like, you know, I love movies, but movies are an art form that kind of tells you a lot of things at the same time.
Yeah.
With of course, it can leave really many multiple layers for your imagination or your interpretation. But music is like it can do that even more. So we kind of don't want to lose that. So that like you can kind of figure yourself out what it means to you personally. So we kind of want to keep that with the visuals as well.
It's like leaving a lot of space to the imagination and visualization as well to the people that is listening your music. So like,
exactly.
This is our music, is our visual, but this is it. The rest, it's all your mind.
Yeah,
our mind.
Yeah, it hopefully helps the visuals for you to kind of get into the stuff, but then rest is kind of,
it's like a little bit the meditation word. You just have the
voice, exactly.
the guide voice, but then you go by yourself. I mean, if you have all the time the voice speaking to you, you just got lost. It helps you to get inside the meditation, then you're left by yourself.
That's it's the same thing as music also is part of the world building, and I think that's really important for what you're doing with any band. Is like you create the world, and once the listener is inside the world, they can explore it themselves, almost like a computer game, but not quite.
Exactly. It's kind of as well like books. It's like you mentioned, it's different in movies, because in movies you already have everything filled up, image, sound, everything. So what you've been left is maybe, I don't know, maybe the message at the end of the movie, maybe you can, but you have always kind of the bad or the good or the white and the black. So you already have one idea. But with music, it of course depend always which music are you listening to. With music and with books, art, painting, and with art in general. So Plasma could be seen as well as an artistic project, not only musical. Then it's more
for sure.
Okay, and because so you mentioned a little bit of live show that you did, like you said 2 live shows. So far now, what we could expect from a live show from Out of Plasma?
I think like I think what we would like to do probably during live stuff is always to keep the songs alive a bit. Meaning that even if it's a bit electronic music, to have that, because we started writing the songs by doing jams. Kind of would be interested to keep that improvisation theme going on, even inside the songs, or maybe sometimes you can make an actual complete free improvisation during the show, because this is something that has been very common in the 60s, 70s. All the bands, they jammed all the time, and now it's considered as more of a risk and people don't do it anymore. I think that's it would be interesting to hear. In jazz music there's a lot of that, but I would think it would be interesting to have even pop bands or rock bands doing a bit more of something that could go really fucked, or it could go really well, depending on the night. Like I think that creates unique things, and not to have everything too control freaked at the time. So I mean, so I think that has kind of disappeared partly, and of course it's part of the, like I told about the krautrock and the psychedelia scene. Also even early electronic music, it's all about shifting constantly all the stuff. So I think it's interesting to keep that aspect that was part of it all the time.
Because it's natural, it's normal, it's like, and I kind of way put as well, let's say kind of bit closeness to with the musician, with the artist, with the music to the listeners. Kind of it's normal. I mean, even in rock band, how many times I don't know that the guitar goes fucked up with the strings and what did I do? Just I have 2 strings. Let's improvise. And not being, like you said, control freaks. Oh, wait, we have to stop. Let's keep. I mean,
it's risky things are, I think, interesting, and it's interesting for the artist and for the audience, because every night you get a unique experience. And of course it can be really nerve-wracking for the artist as well, but I think that's kind of cool to be on your toes a bit. And I think it will create, like, even if you then play some songs that are more on strict form.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it will create edge to those as well if you have something during the live set that you are really kind of freaking out about. So
yeah, because as well it give you an easy way of being on the stage, and improvisation is always the best. And I think and you can see it even in some live shows, and that those are the things that you remember as a musician and as a crowd fan listener whatsoever. You want to go to sing on the stage, not between the crowds. Maybe you just go there, and the fan will remember that. Maybe I don't know, the lights goes away and you just start to sing without instrument. That's other thing that people remember.
Yeah, the unique experiences.
And come on, who loves perfection? I mean, perfection doesn't
it's not really about the music. It's very boring music usually.
Exactly. So before we end you, I want to just ask you, because I'm just about the live show. You said that right now there's kind of a planning about the future live show, so there's nothing announced yet.
Yeah, not right now. We're talking about a few things. But,
okay, so people can check the social media in general just to stay updated. And for the release, for the one, let's say that the record is of course available on social media, in every platform, streaming, I guess. But you have a physical copy available for people. Okay.
Yeah, vinyl and CD. I think it's got that kind of music that.
Yeah, and I
think it's cool about Swart Records in Finland that they actually do vinyls.
And they do it perfectly. I saw that they were telling you, Kathy ran vinyls by Swart Records. It's an amazing vinyl. But what I like is that, like the electronic music, let's say, like early 90s electronic music in vinyls. It's it's kind of paradox, because it's something from the 60s, 50s, electronics, more futurist. That kind of vinyl and electronic music is a perfect combo, even better than a tape or a CD. And it's a cool thing, especially for collection. I mean, listening to a vinyl reader, electronic music, it's cool. I mean, it's something that I would, as a fan of a music, I would like to do it, to experiment. And so as far for now, just thank you for the interview. It's always good to know there is this, because your music, it helps, it's like the soundtrack that you can listen all the day for any activity you might doing the laundry, get outside for a walk, going to take a bath, swim, whatsoever. Because it's just music that can help you, like I said, to have your own, just even to chill, to do even a meditation, whatever.
So, exactly.
I hope to see you then touring soon. And thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Bye. And enjoy the good weather in Finland.
I will. You too, if it's not like too hot there yet. So
it's the opposite of Sicily in Finland.
Sounds perfect. All right, bye.